If you've ever had a call with a potential prospect and you've pitched your project, but they've just come back saying it's way out of budget, or maybe you just get the sense that they don't really trust you and it just feels like too much of a leap, then this is what you need to do. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about something called a logical next step. A logical next step is the gap between the initial conversation where somebody's interested in what you do and your core business. And so the logical next step is really designed to demonstrate value and to give that prospect the experience of working with you so they can relax a little bit and they can see some value up front and reduce the risk. And so in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to create a logical next step and exactly what it is.
I really want you to think about your logical next step as like a test drive in a car. So obviously a test drive is usually free, but you can charge for this. So I would say that your logical next step is optional. I think for me personally, it depends what service you're selling. In the coaching world, I find that because it's so intangible, it's better to just give people the test drive. It's better to give them the experience. And that's why one of the reasons why we run our workshop. Number one is we kind of give people the experience of what it's like to be on a group call with a small bunch of other people, kind of share some ideas, demonstrate some expertise, create some light bulb moments. But also if people, there's a few exceptions sitting in this room, but if people can't show up to that workshop, it's generally an indication of how they're going to lean into the program. Like if they can't put an hour or 90 minutes aside in their week to come to a workshop, for us, that's usually a bit of a red flag that like, they're not going to come to group calls and they're not going to like do all these things, right? We did used to charge for it. It was when I did it in person and people still used to show up. But now it's online, it doesn't really cost any money apart from time. And we found that trying to go straight from qualifying call to sales call does work with the right prospects. But in most cases, if we bring them to the workshop, we get a much higher conversion rate, right? Because they're spending more time with us, they're spending some of their energy, they're doing some work, they're getting that kind of 7-11-4 that Daniel Priestley talks about. So think about like the value of your like core product and ask yourself, if I knew that by making my logical next step free, it would increase my conversion rate by 30% or 50%, would I be willing to invest that to get one more sale or two more sales? That's basically how I look at a logical next step. For some of you, if you've got, you kind of could go the other way. So if you've got really, really high ticket, like hundreds of thousands into the millions, something like that, then to do a logical next step for free might feel a bit weird. Like, why are you doing all of this work up front for free? And it might involve more of your time, maybe some of your money if you're getting your staff involved and things like that. So it's totally up to you, but what I want you to think about is the idea of the logical next step is simply to demonstrate some value, to actually build some trust and get them to part with some time, energy, and maybe some money. Right? So what can you do after someone jumps on a call? You're like, oh, this person seems like they're a really good fit. Maybe you don't really feel like you've got the rapport or you don't know enough about them to go straight to a core offer. Or there are some things that you still need to figure out. That's usually like a good indication, like, sounds like they don't quite know this. And if we did this workshop with them or if we did this next step, then we'd get really clear on that. And then it would be really obvious whether the core offer would be a good fit for them or not. So just turn to the person next to you and have a little chat about what is your logical next step. If someone comes to you, they're super qualified, but you don't quite feel they're ready for the core thing that you sell right now, what are you going to do with them? And are you going to charge for it or is it going to be free?